It's genuinely starting to piss me off how people are trying to say that Nick and Olandria do not have a real relationship and it's just strictly platonic and like they don't like each other. Have y'all never seen two people with chemistry before? Because they have it. What it comes down to is the fact that this country is deeply anti-black and especially anti-black women. Y'all literally cannot fathom a black woman being loved the right way, especially a dark-skinned black woman. Because y'all think that Nick's type should be white women or like foreign women. Y'all can't fathom him being attracted to her because y'all have anti-black ideals. So when you see love being so clearly displayed, like not just love, but deep respect and care for her, you immediately assume it's fake because you just hate black women. Like, let's just be so fucking real right now. Do you think that his parents would be celebrating if it was fake? No. Y'all sound dumb, for real. Like, read the fucking room, babe. You know who had a fake relationship? Nick and Sierra. And they were together longer. And what was his mom's reaction to that? Because she knows her son. And she knows that her son is smitten with Olandria. He loves that woman. Like, it's so obvious. And I'm so tired of this narrative that it's all fake and it's all scripted and it's producer written. Like, shut up. Y'all just don't want to see black women loved correctly without some type of struggle, without having to constantly prove our worth. Y'all think that we have to fucking earn love. It makes me sick. Y'all can't fathom that this beautiful dark-skinned black woman that does not fit European beauty standards is being loved unapologetically by a white man. This is not a new trope. Hello. In Louisiana, they literally had to make laws about black women's hair because white women were noticing that their husbands and were really attracted to black women and they were jealous. They were envious. They were like, oh no, we can't have that. Like, what do you see in her? And this is translating directly from that, I fear. That's why most of the people that are upset about Nick and Olandria or trying to say that it's like not real are non-black women and some black men. Are white men sitting up here saying that it's not real and that it's scripted? No, they're not, because they see the fucking vision. His friends have Nicolandria shirts. His friends are hyping them up. Do you think that they would be hyping them up if it wasn't real? Don't you think that his family and friends would be able to see through that? Did they make Nick and Sierra shirts when they were together? I don't think so. Because they knew that shit wasn't real. Like, y'all make me sick.
Good evening, gentlemen, and a few of you ladies that may be listening. This is Spiritual Art of War, back at it again with another episode, and this time we're going to talk about Swirl Fantasies, the story of Nicolandria, which is basically the talk of black female, social media. And, this is something that a lot of men may not be, interested in, of course, because, we don't watch Love Island. This is more geared towards women. Of course, there's men involved, but, a lot of these shows are just goofy. Even The Bachelor and Bachelorette, those are largely watched by females. I mean, if a man catches it, it's because a female in his family or his significant other is watching it. But a man is not going to sit down on his own and grab a bowl of cereal and, be sitting around watching these shows. Now, how do I know what's going on? Because they keep on promoting it on social media, even if you're not even looking for it. And what I'm seeing is a lot of so-called black women celebrating this relationship between Olandria, I believe that's how you pronounce her name, and Nick, who's a so-called white man, and Olandria, a so-called black woman. And it's funny because I'd seen her before because there was like a street interview on Instagram where she was like interviewed months back. And I was like, that girl looks familiar when I saw her face. So when I went and I searched her name on Instagram, I peeped that I'd seen her before because I recall in that interview that she went to Tuskegee, which is out there at HBCU in Alabama. And this is the funny thing about this. The reason why black women are celebrating this stuff because black women are secret swirlers. And we know this because there's statistical data from dating apps proving that black women actually prefer white men over their own men. In fact, they've even found that all races of non-white women prefer white men over their own men. So this whole idea that black women are loyal is all a lie. Here's part of the issue though. As much as they promote this, they will also be against any form of interracial dating from black men to non-black women, particularly to white women. They are in uproar every NBA and NFL draft. Every time they see a so-called black man of means who is with a non-black woman, they lose their marbles. They always claim that they're not upset. They don't care, do what you do, but just don't say anything. Let me tell you something. Actions speak louder than words. When they say black men shouldn't go out there and talk about why they like non-black women, yada, 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 as long as they don't say anything about us, we're okay. That's a lie. And how do we know this? Because even when Kobe Bryant died, who never said anything about black women, he never was negative towards black women. He even promoted WNBA players and other black causes. Black WNBA players. He set up whole camps and everything. He was supporting black WNBA players at their games during the off season. He was going to their Olympic games and supporting them there. So he wasn't anti-black woman, but they celebrated his death on social media, saying that he didn't marry no black woman. He left his wealth to a Mexican woman, yada, yada, yada. So this is how they really feel. And we got so much evidence, it's not even funny. Like, we could literally go down, if I go down this rabbit hole of the last 100 years of black women and their interaction, we're talking about the last 100 years. Black women and their interactions with white men, you would be sick. Literally, you would be sick. Now, here's the thing. When you look at the statistics, the reason why black women celebrate these type of faux relationships that you see on a reality show between a black woman and a white man is because it's rare. Yes, only 0.5% of white men are even married to black women. Okay? In fact, when white men date out, their lowest pairing is to black women. It's very low. Like, it's among white people, it's rare for them to run across a white man that's married to a black woman. That's how rare it is. Like, it's rare. You just don't see it. Even in cities, like if you go to places like Atlanta, you don't see like white men married to black women in Atlanta. You don't see that. You might see them have a baby. You might see a black woman have a baby with white men. That happens quite a bit. And there's statistical data that shows that happens quite a bit. So it's not that there's not sexual access, and it's not that children are not being procreated from them. The reason why you don't hear about these children or see these children often is because a lot of times these kids are mentally damaged by their mothers. So they never amount to, most of them don't amount to nothing. This is just a reality. And if you don't believe me, just look at the entertainment world, look at the world of, of anything that requires real talent, and you don't see much coming out of that pairing. This is just the facts. And everybody kind of knows this. That's why a lot of people think that there's way more black men having babies with white women, because they're seeing all these successful, Patrick Mahomes, Blake Griffins of the world. They're seeing these come up. They're seeing the Holly Berrys and the Mariah Careys, the Lottos, the list goes on. And they're successful. But you don't see these other children from these pairings. Okay? And I have a whole, theory behind that, but I don't want to go too deep. But this is the reason why we have to understand that when these women are celebrating this stuff on social media, it's like seeing a double rainbow. Okay? It's like seeing a double rainbow. It's an event that occurs every so often. And even when you see these relationships, and I'm telling you, I've witnessed these relationships over the years where you'll have a black woman dating a white man, and I'm telling you, 99 out of 100 are janky. They're super janky, bruh. Y'all remember that story about the black woman here in Houston? She was with a fake ass Paul Wall, and she had like 3 sons, and the white boyfriend was beating them and beat one of them to death. Then they abandoned that child, left him in the room, and left him in the apartment complex with his 2 brothers while his body was decaying for months, and freaking roaches and maggots were eating at his body while they would go there and just drop off food and pizza. And the neighbors was giving food and stuff like that because the kid would go out and ask for food. Then the smell got so bad that they had to check out what was going on, and they found that the kid had been dead, beaten, and was decaying, and the mother was running around. It's a lot of janky relationships that come out of those type of unions. It's just reality. And the reason why is because the actual relationships that are built from those type of unions is based off of a lot more aesthetic. It's based off of validation. Okay? Because the reason why black women celebrate these things is because in their eyes, if they are validated by white men, then they feel more beautiful. They don't care what black men think about them. They don't care when we uplift them. They would rather be uplifted and be validated by a white man. That is the ultimate sign of desirability to them, is if white men like them. That's why they promoted Kayla Nicole, the one that was dating Travis Kelce. Oh, they promoted the heck out of it. And here's the thing. They thought that black men were jealous and envious of it. We weren't even thinking about it. We didn't care. You think his teammates cared that he was with Kayla Nicole? Dude, there's thousands of Kayla Nicoles for NBA and NFL players. She ain't even the baddest chick that's out there. But they hyped her up because she was with Travis Kelce. And then she did the black girl magic makeover on him and gave him some swag and appeal, got him a haircut, had him dressed in a certain way. And then these women were like, oh, look at him. As soon as he left her, he went back to being a Midwest hillbilly with the stash, going back to his roots. And then he went and got Taylor Swift, a billionaire artist. So he upgraded. Oh, she ain't as fine as her, blah, 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 blah. Let me tell you something. These women do not understand men. Only a goofy. Just take away whether or not you care if the girl is black or white. Only a goofy would rather be with Kayla Nicole over Taylor Swift, who's a billionaire and who wants him. Okay? A$AP Rocky is with Rihanna, who's a billionaire. Okay? And she wants him. She's having his babies back to back to back. He's winning in that relationship. That's why these men that sit here talk about you got to have all the money and yada, yada, yada. You got to be the bread. You got to have all this. A lot of these guys, they don't understand what they're talking about. There's women out there that are taking care of their husband. You see what happened with Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton was the one making the money. She was the star. But she stand by her man, just like the song say. Okay? So you got women out there that operate and that look at Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon. Everybody knows that Mariah Carey is the big breadwinner of that. And even Nick Cannon, he said it was his own insecurity that made him feel like he should do more. And he said that Mariah wasn't even tripping on him not being the richer of the two. It was his own insecurity that led to their ending of their marriage. Had she got with another guy, she would have still been rocking and rolling. Because you got to understand that some women don't care about that type of stuff. So, but when you're looking at these relationships, when it's built off of, oh, I got this white guy that liked me. Oh, and all of a sudden, this elevates her to like this queen goddess status. Oh, bro, if you see the freaking memes and all the stuff that's going on, y'all are going to be, y'all are just weirdos. All these women are weirdos. Y'all was doing the same thing with Rachel Lindsay. Y'all forget so quick. Y'all are so quick. Y'all are so quick to forget what happened with Rachel Lindsay. Y'all were hyping that up. Y'all were hyping that up so much. And she got screwed over in the divorce. All that. And let me tell you something. The reason why white men don't marry black women at a high rate, there's many reasons. There's many reasons why they don't. And it'll explain the reason why the marriage rates are so low. They're so low. And I'm gonna tell you, even those women get impregnated by these guys leave them at a high rate. They do not want to raise that child. They don't want to be associated with that child. You know why? Because one thing that white men understand, okay, and they understand power. They understand social status. They understand in their eyes, in the way the world has been constructed, they know that they will be lower on the social strata if they are seen walking around with a black woman and the mixed kids. Now, there are some white men that are willing to part from that, but it's a very small percentage, and the marriage rates bear them out. Now, another thing is the kind of woman that they prefer outside of just race. They want femininity. They want cooperation. Okay? They want to be the man in the relationship. Okay? They want that respect. And they expect it. And that's something that black women really can't do long term, even if they have a fetish for white men. Because let me tell you something, a lot of these black women that are on this type of fetishization, they're used to pursuing and dealing with black men. And because they have a low grade level of respect for black men, that's the muscle, the emotional muscle that they're exercising, is being condescending, being rude, being crass, being argumentative, being unsubordinate towards black men. And then they try and flip over to white men, and then they put on this mask of femininity and being a nice girl. And what happens is, after a while, familiarity breeds contempt. The mask comes off. She can no longer keep that facade on long term. This is the reason why black women actually have a very high divorce rate, even when they marry outside. They've promoted this old statistic from 2002 when it came to interracial marriages. And come to find out, black women have the highest divorce rates in the country out of all demographics. Not only are they the least likely married, they have the highest divorce rates. They have a higher divorce rate than they do marriage rate. They're the only group that has a higher divorce rate than their marriage rate. This shows that they're incompatible by and large to stable marriages. Now, this doesn't mean all of them. We're just saying as a whole, this is how the group is. So how is that going to be compatible to a white man who is high level, successful, conventionally attractive, and comes from a background of, marriages and stability and wealth? Why would they want to add that to them and their family? Then you got another thing. Another thing is you got women that are overweight. And let me tell you something. I grew up in a very diverse area. And I went to a very diverse school. I also went to a PWI. When it comes to body shaming women, nobody tops the white boy. Nobody. Women that are considered like slim thick or thick, they are considered fat for a long time. It's only even more recently that you see some white guys liking a slim thick woman. Before, their ideal was like Pamela Anderson. Like flat back and a big chest and a pretty face with long hair. Like that was their standard going back to the 90s, early 2000s, your Paris Hilton look. Like, that's their standard when it comes to beauty for a long time. It's only until recently that they started liking like athletic women, you know, women that have more are athletic, women that have a little bit more of you know, some curvature to them, because you had this whole CrossFit thing going on where CrossFit got big, and even among, you know, women it got big, and a lot of, you know, white dudes started liking the athletic build type of girl. They started liking that a little bit more. But still, they required the woman to be in shape, not overweight. Okay? And a lot of people don't even understand that. A lot of these women, they don't understand it. So when they see like Nicolandria, understand this, that she is actually a minority for her body type among black women. Like, she's in great shape, and she doesn't fit that body stereotype that a lot of black women generally fit, especially as they get older. So a lot of times you would have to beat the body and just to get in their radar, that you would have to have what's called the silhouette. The body silhouette is really what you would need to have for that particular group, which is white men. Another thing that hurts black women in regards to interracial relationships, and especially marriages with white men, is the fact that their union produces a non-black child. And let me tell you something about white people are much more socially aware and conscious than any other group, especially more than black people. Because white people, they tend to live in predominantly white areas or all white areas. If they live with another group that has a sizable population, it's generally going to be Asian or Latino. And we're talking about, it's going to be like middle class Latinos. So for example, if you go to places like San Diego, like La Jolla, like the suburbs of San Diego, they're going to be like middle to upper class Latinos and Asians that are going to live among them, that is going to be among that population. But when you start talking about what they do and what they see in these areas, growing up, they make fun of non-black kids because they're different. Non-white kids because they're different. So what happens is, if they know that when they were growing up, they were calling the little mixed kid or black kid the N-word and making fun of them and being racist towards them, they know that if they have a kid like that, they know what's going to come down the pike, and they got to think about what their children are going to go through. So that's one of the things they think of. It's like, wait, if I have a child with this black one, if I marry her, my kids is not going to look like me. They're going to be non-white, and they're going to face the discrimination that I know my people are doing, even though we deny it. So in order to get away from that, they're going to say, I'm not going to pursue that. So they may put you in rotation and sleep with you, because I know white dudes that did that. I know white dudes that did that. I know of them, especially you've seen them on college. They knew that they can run through black chicks. And I ain't gonna save no 304. I ain't gonna save no, wench swirler from what she's doing. But I seen them. They know that they're easy to run through. So they'll use them as target practice, as bedroom practice. And this is like a common thing that white men did throughout the Western world with non-black women, where a lot of them would actually get some of their early experiences across the track from black women. Look at Strom Thurmond. Strom Thurmond, that's how he got his. Okay? He slept with the family maid. That's how he got the daughter, the secret daughter that came out that no one knew about for decades. Strom Thurmond, a whole segregationalist. You can look him up. Senator Strom Thurmond in South Carolina. an ardent racist who had a secret love child with a black woman who was the family maid. But he never married one. So when we have these discussions, we have to keep it all the way real about why y'all are promoting this stuff. And it makes y'all look bad. See, the thing about it is all you're doing is just providing the evidence that's mounting up against you. So that way men know exactly where y'all stand. It's the overwhelming evidence against y'all that you can never run away from because you're promoting it. You're making it a problem. See, y'all are actually emotionally invested in this relationship. And I'm telling you, he knows exactly, that Nick character knows exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm telling you, y'all are very much invested in this relationship and y'all want it to go see it all the way through. Y'all are looking for that love story. And y'all gonna be disappointed. Because these women have low self-esteem, bro. They need this validation. And the funny thing about it is black women are very weird with the validation because they need it from all angles. They want it from all angles. It's like they want to see the athlete married to the black woman. They want to see like the Donovan Mitchell with Coco Jones. And they're like, oh my gosh, he did it. Because they want the validation. They want to live vicariously through these women to uphold their own self-image because these women have a poor self-image of themselves. So when they see like a Coco Jones is engaged to like a Donovan Mitchell, an NBA player, they're happy. When they see like, LeBron James and his wife, it just gives them this extra hope. But nothing, and I mean nothing. They could have been talking about Coco Jones and Donovan Mitchell. They could have just rolled with that. They could have been pushing that heavily. You go on these pages, these women are obsessed with this Nicolandria story. Obsessed. They bought in. And I'm talking about, there's women that are promoting all this pro-black talking points, and they are pushing this. And they're actually using it against white women. They say, oh, white women are upset because, and this is all projection. They're saying white women are just upset because we got one of theirs and he's good looking. We got and he wants a black woman, but they're projecting. White women don't care. They don't care. Because 99.5% of white men who do marry don't marry black women. And they don't lose the creme de la creme. It's rare. If they lose one, that's because that guy came up during a time when he didn't have nothing with a black woman and she benefited from it. But to think that your high level Brad, your 1% Brad is out here just going around and looking for his queen, like coming to America and he's Hakeem, y'all feeling yourself. Y'all pouring jelly on yourself. You be crazy if you think that's how they rolling. Okay? Y'all are very funny creatures. I'm telling you. Y'all are very funny. And it just shows exactly what y'all really are. There's so many studies on it. There's a book called The Dating Divide that's about this same topic by sociologists that studied dating and even the dynamics of interracial dating in regards to black women. Okay, they have a whole segment in there about how black women respond to white men quicker, prefer white men, but have bad experiences with white men. And that when they found that white men were just using them as a sexual fetish, but they were not escalating it to serious relationships. But again, y'all don't mind that because y'all don't mind those relationships going sour because those relationships give you validation. Even if they're short-lived, even if they're flings. Even if it's a mistress-style relationship, y'all don't care. Y'all heard some of these women, K. Michelle, was talking about how all her relationships with black men are not good, but her relationship with white men, none of them have went up to marriage. They all ended. But for some reason, to her relationships with white men is better than a relationship with black men. But none of her relations with white men have even gone well. In fact, she was with Ryan Lochte. And Ryan Lochte's people was like, yo, get rid of her. She's ghetto. She's not good for your image. And he got rid of her. And he moved on and got himself a Becky. Went back to his people, man. He soiled his oats. He had his slumming. He used her, abused her, and cut her loose. But again, y'all don't see that because y'all are more concerned with validation than outcomes. Okay? And it's just been too obvious for too long, and y'all are just proving it. Social media has been probably the best thing that happened to so-called black men. It's been the best thing that's happened to so-called black men in a variety of different ways. Not only in knowing who you are, knowing who your power is, understanding the world around you and how you fit in it, but then also understanding the dynamics among your counterpart, the so-called black woman. And the more you understand that, the more you can properly maneuver and avoid these witches that are on this type of time. So that's what it is. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next.
This is something that I've noticed about black women. Not all, of course, because I'm a black woman and I don't think like that. But I kind of find it very disgusting or weird is that we tend to, as black women, overly punish black men for what we deem as disrespectful or weird towards a black woman. But if a white guy does the exact same thing, if not worse, but he dresses it up a little bit better, kind of has like a player tone to it, and he panders by saying sweet words to her, then is looked at as okay because, for one, he's white. You're projecting your own interracial fantasies onto this guy or interracial couple. Prime example, Love Island, right? And I've spoken on this show before where Taylor, a black guy, hasn't really been honest with Nicolandria about how he truly felt since day one. But my thing is, what has Taylor done that Nick hasn't done, or Pepe or any other guy has done on the show in exchange for their own beneficial gain, which is, for this particular show, the 100K prize that is split between the two couples. So because Taylor has been shown saying that he doesn't find Nicolandria attractive, he doesn't pretty much want to show too much effort in the real world, that would make sense for Taylor to be condemned. But on a damn TV show where we're trying to win some money, technically, is he wrong? Yes, he could have been honest, but it's a TV show. Why would I tell her that I'm not attracted to her when I don't have any other options? I'm going to link up with somebody that's compatible to me on TV so we can both benefit from it. Yes, is he not being honest, but it's not like she's also not, a part of the prize money as well. But because people are projecting their own issues that they've had in real life with black men, to hell with Taylor, and let's, build this whole fantasy of Nick and Nicolandria that's clearly not genuine. I'm not saying that Nick doesn't find Nicolandria beautiful or funny or whatever, but again, if he was so into Sierra, who is a non-black woman, why didn't he not leave with Sierra? Why? Because he still wants the money. And then on the flip side, I don't like when we overuse the term phrase, we don't protect black women, when black women was tearing down another black woman who is Clark, again, projecting your own inner hatred by saying that she was making faces and stuff like that. In real life, you do have women that don't like other black women when they feel like they are being overlooked by the man that they want and the guy doesn't want them. So this TV show has really shown me how people view dating in general.